Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Commandant's Corner. This is a Zoom meeting that we do once a month. We didn't have one last month, and it's good to see everybody back in the saddle and ready to learn. Tonight's topic is going to be Toys for Tots. And our guest speakers tonight, we will have Commandant Baker. Hopefully he'll make it in, but for sure, we already have on deck Russ Miller. Russ Miller is the national liaison to the foundation proper. So when you have questions, get him up first and help. That way he can take those questions to the foundation if he doesn't have the answer already. So without further ado, if Commandant Baker, I don't see him on yet. So we're going to just go ahead and turn it right over to Russ Miller for any talking points and things that he would like to get started on this conversation. Russ, the floor is yours, sir.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. And for those of you that have not seen it yet, I know Victoria said that they put out on the YouTube channel the presentation that I gave at the National Toys for Tots seminar training conference this last weekend. We had a good conference. It was much smaller than we're used to, simply because of the location where we've been at for years was actually filled with Afghan refugees currently. So we had to meet at a hotel, much smaller venue. So there was a lot less coordinators that could be on deck for training. One of the things that we discussed a lot there, and I was very pleased, throughout the course of the weekend, the Marine Corps League, the name Marine Corps League was mentioned multiple times from the dais by all of the National Toys for Tots Foundation staff, by General Bellin when he was there, but all of them, and they were all making pitches or pleas, whichever way you want to look at it, for folks to join the Marine Corps League and get involved. Those who are not already members, that are LCOs in towns where there is no reserve center on deck. So that was very encouraging, and yeah, I was just bless my pea picking little heart. So also on our national website, in the member library, under the reports, and also under convention reports, you'll find, whether you click on the convention link or on the conference link from last year's midwinter conference, you'll find my report in there. It's a slide deck, a PowerPoint presentation, and it basically goes through our role as a Marine Corps League in dealing with Toys for Tots as the foundation, and also with dealing with Marine Corps reserves. So with that, I mean, there's not a lot that I had really to share with everybody that's changed, but I would gladly answer questions or deal with any issues that anybody might have, or kind of thing.
Well, I have a question, sir. I already know the answer because I did watch the video and I also recorded it. But my question is, and unfortunately I have seen it happen, a person walks up to a table and they hand you a $20 bill. Okay, now that's cash moving around. They specifically say, I want this cash to ensure that someone in my county, a child in my county is getting a toy. How does that money then get processed, recorded? What's the process of collecting cash? That's really basically my question.
Well, first of all, the cash should never go in somebody's pocket. If you're doing an event as a detachment, whether you're the LCO, the local coordinating organization for Toys for Tots, or if you're there in support of a Marine Reserve unit that is the Toys for Tots site, either way, the cash, it never goes in a pocket. It needs to go in have a bank bag there, preferably something with the Toys for Tots logo on it. I've seen detachments that have taken ammo cans and cut slots in the top of them, that kind of thing, but something that you can put that cash in. Item number 2 is cash handling, fund handling, money that is given with the intent of going to Toys for Tots. and this is a situation that I ran into a year ago, where there was some folks out collecting money in front of a Walmart. They had Toys for Tots on their little box that people were dropping money into, but that money was never making it to the Toys for Tots coordinators. It was going into their own funds, into their own organization. And then what was happening with it after that was a mystery. And we chased that mystery down and chased that person down, and that's been resolved. But one thing that everybody needs to understand is any donations, any monetary donations, whether it's a check, a credit card, a cash donation, as long as the cash and the checks are handled at the local level, the Toys for Tots coordinator is responsible to then forward those onto our caging company out of Des Moines, Iowa, where it then gets processed and is placed back into the account of the local coordinator, so that they can use that money to go right out to the local stores and buy toys. They can contact any of our vendors. We have several vendors that we can actually order directly from and get the toys for near the same price that Walmart, Target, that they get them for if they were to order them. So those funds that are collected locally need to stay locally and be used in the county that they're set for. The other issue that we have, and it's important that people understand that when they make a credit card donation, if they go on to the National Toys for Tots website, toysfortots.org, and they just click make a donation, and they don't specify the state and the county that they want it to go into, it's going to just go into the Toys for Tots general fund. Now, those funds will still be utilized to buy toys, because all of the expenses, all the costs that are incurred at the national headquarters, as it's been shared many times before, are all paid for out of a annuity that was donated or bequeathed to Toys for Tots. A lady out of Atlanta, Georgia, years ago, when she passed away, she left a little over $10 million in an annuity. And that is what pays for all the staff and all the operating expenses day to day at the Toys for Tots Foundation. Those of us out here in the field, as you all know from the league side, are all volunteers, every one of us. And so there's nobody paid out here in the field. But that's it basically on fund handling. One thing I do recommend for coordinators, and for those of you that are detachments, you can get a hold of, if you're not the LCO in your area, but reaching out to your coordinator there in your area and asking them to create a QRL code for you. They have that ability on their website, on their Toys for Tots site. They can create a QRL code that you can print out. You can put it wherever you want. You can put it on posters. You can, hang it on the back of bathrooms, stall doors, wherever, so that people can just scan that with their phones, and it can take them directly to making a donation directly to your local coordinator and your local area.
All right,
Hey,
thank
Russ,
you very much. We do have
Can I
a
say-
hand. Oh, I'm
can I say
sorry.
one thing about funds?
Yeah, go ahead, Craig.
So just to add on to what Russ says, at the local level, if you're out doing a fundraising event and you're coordinating with your, either your reserve center or your local, the way that I do as a local area coordinator, there are two ways to get funds. You take the cash, and then if you have a Bank of America that is local to your area, we actually have specialized deposit slips from the foundation. We take that money right to the Bank of America in my town, and I deposit that cash immediately, which then it comes into my local account for my use. For people that don't have a Bank of America, or say you're a Marine Corps League detachment and you are working with the Reserve Center and you collect a bunch of cash while you're out there, and you're like, well, I'm not going to see the guy from the Reserve Center for a week, and I don't want to have $1,000 in cash sitting around. You can turn that cash into a money order. Okay. Don't be cheap. Take the $1 or $2 out of your own personal pocket and buy the money order. And then you just write cash on that and make it out to Toys for Tots. And then the give it to the reserve center, and then they can deposit that money into their account for use locally. That way a local detachment is not holding on to cash, or you're not worried about losing, a bag full of cash. You've turned it into a money order, and then that money order is given to the local area coordinator or the reserve center so that they can then process that cash donation and get it into their local funds. So the one thing that, and I can't, I'm sorry, because I've got people talking behind me in this restaurant. The one thing you are not allowed to do is take cash and put it into your local detachment and then write a check from your local detachment and give it to the foundation. That is a no-no. That's like, we're not allowed to filter the money through detachments. Everything has to go through the foundation. All checks that are written to Toys for Tots. And that way, we're above board in everything that we do. But so that's how the foundation handles cash. It's how I handle my cash through a Bank of America, or just do a money order and make it out to Toys for Tots and give it to your local area coordinator. That's it.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
Thank you, Craig. We do have a hand raised. Go ahead, Russ. Did you have something else?
I was going to just say that in support of what Craig just said, we never want to commingle funds. We never want funds that are donated to Toys for Tots, for Toys for Tots, in the name of Toys for Tots, to go anywhere but through the Toys for Tots bookkeeping system. So that is vitally important that we keep that in mind, and that we hold true to that in everything we do.
All right. Thank you, Russ. Bryce West, you are up. And Dean, you're on deck. Go ahead, Bryce.
Hey, how's everybody doing? There may be a little road noise. I'm in my truck, but all right. So a couple of questions. One, our detachment, and we've done this for, I don't know how many years, but forever. We have a separate account. We have our operating account, but then we have a separate account that we use when we do our Toys for Tots fundraising. We'll do 2, 3, 4 events, and we dump the money, and they're in quick succession. I'm not talking about doing one in January, doing one in March, and doing one in December. They're all in the October forward time frame. And then we deposit. We're not commingling money. We have a separate account. It goes into that account, and then we cut a check out of it. Are you saying we're doing that wrong?
Yep. Yes.
And next question, you're saying yes, we're doing that wrong. You're saying we can't have a separate account.
Correct. Yeah, it should not even have a designated account for that.
Well, we do. Next question. So, and I brought this up, national donation jug that has USMC stickers on it, Marine Corps League stickers on it, Semper Fi stickers on it, and then there's a teddy bear sticker on it with Toys for Tots. Somebody says, oh, it's got a Toys for Tots sticker, so every bit of that money belongs to Toys for Tots. Cover that, because the intent is not a Toys for Tots drive. There just happens to be a sticker on that jug. And if you say rip it off, we'll rip it off. But I asked that question at National, but there may be people that are on this call tonight that weren't at National that would need to hear that.
Yeah, at the conference, that is one thing that was discussed. Colonel Cooper brought that up during some of the training. Basically, it's just be out front and forward with folks when you're out doing events and you're raising funds. And if you're raising funds for 3 different things, you're doing stuff for Toys for Tots, you're doing stuff, let people know a portion of our proceeds of what we're doing here today, part of it's going to go to Toys for Tots, part of it's going to go to Young Marines, part of it's going to go to our Marines Helping Marines Fund, whatever. But be upfront with folks and let them know that their entire donation may not be going to Toys for Tots, but that you're splitting up what you're bringing in that week for these specific items, and Toys for Tots is one of them. In that respect, you're okay, because you're bringing in as a donation to your detachment, and your detachment is then sharing part of what you're doing with Toys for Tots. That is perfectly legal. But to go out
Yep.
and specifically be or collecting as a Toys for Tots event, and all those funds are for Toys for Tots, they should not touch your bank account. They really just need to go straight into the Toys for Tots bookkeeping system. The issue that we've run into in the past is when a detachment goes out and they collect funds and then they write a check and they send that check into Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots is sending a letter, a receipt letter to the detachment, thanking them for the donation, when it wasn't really a donation from your detachment. It was a donation from all the people in the community. It's a very fine line and a very, as far as how it all runs, but those are the rules and the guidelines that we have from the IRS and from the foundation.
Now, to clarify, if somebody but to clarify what my earlier question, if somebody writes us a check, we don't deposit a check into that account. I'm just talking about
Okay,
I
so
lost you.
strictly cash donations. We dump into our fundraising account and then we cut the raising account, not operating account, completely separate. We're not commingling funds.
Who's your LCO?
Well, it used to be Carol Howard, but Carol did Toys for Tots last year because Carol retired and nobody replaced her. But
And you don't have a Toys for Tots program.
Well, if you'd let me finish, thank you. We do have a coordinator that just came back from Quantico. Just came back. Jerry Truelove, and he's on this call. Should be on the call. So we do.
And he's part of your detachment or? Correct. Yeah, so with him being part of your detachment, again, there should be no need. I mean, if it's a different ball of wax, I guess, if we're talking about somebody that's working with another Toys for Tots coordinator, where it's going to take you time to get the money to them, or if they're in another city and another county, whatever. But in your situation where he's right there, there's really no reason for any money to go into a separate account. Even if it is a specified account, he should just be taking that, you do your normal fund handling procedure, have two people count the money together, they agree on how much is there, write it on a piece of paper, I sign it, I agree, there's X amount here, and then take it down, convert it to a money order and send it into the foundation. And the nice thing is the coordinator, once he deposits that through the system, when he goes into a secure site and he goes into his fund handling, deposits that, he can turn around and spend it that day. Even though he hasn't put it in the UPS envelope and mailed it off yet, or UPS'd it off yet, he has the ability to go out and use it immediately.
Yeah, that's good. But we don't have a Bank of America bank anywhere near us.
Yeah, neither do I here in Colorado. So I feel your pain there. Well, I did work it out though. I went to one of the grocery stores here in town. It's one of the Kroger, King Super stores. And because it's for Toys for Tots, they waive the money order fee. And as soon as I'm done with an event, I can just walk in there with the cash. They take the cash and they draw up a money order for me, and they don't charge me anything for it.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Well, this is the first year that we've got our own coordinator, so obviously we're going to change some procedures. So thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
That's a great topic. Thank you for bringing the question to the table, Bryce. All right, Dean, you are up and there are no other hands. But Dean, before you start, you want to remind everybody how to virtually raise your hand. I don't see except maybe 6 little small pictures. So waving at the camera. I do know Dean's situation personally, but to do that, you just hover across the bottom of the screen. You'll find reactions. Click on that and you'll see raise your hand. So please try to use that because I don't see anybody waving in the camera, and I am watching the chat. Go ahead, Dean, you're up.
I think one of the issues dealing with money again, and Russ can expand upon it, is that you have to have somebody else counting the money. And it can't be your spouse, it can't be, my son, my wife, my daughter. It has to be somebody totally independent of my family. They both have to sign on the deposit forms. So we're trying to keep everybody above board and keep everybody safe. The foundation was also talking about foster care and giving gifts to the foster care people. The Indian tribes are still quite active, and they need our help too. And then even residential programs can also request toys. So I have a meeting with my president commissioner to talk about that on Tuesday. Trying to get children and youth services, foster care, try to get those kids toys. So that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Great points. All right, we're seeing some hands come across the screen. Skip, you are up. Clark, stand by. You are next. Go ahead, Skip.
Thanks, Vicki. Russ, I was a little confused there. So Bryce was saying that he has a jar with Marine Corps League stickers on it and everything, and somebody sticks a Toys for Tots sticker on it. And so then they put the money in there. I thought previously you said that any Toys for Tots money had to go into a separate container. So they should take that sticker off that one jar and put it on a separate one, have it sitting side by side. So when people want to donate for Toys for Tots, it goes in that separate designated container and the league money goes into the other container. Is that not right?
That is, you can, yes, you can do that. What I was saying though is what Colonel Cooper talked about was you have the ability when you're doing an event, if you're raising money for several different things at the same event, then you just want to be upfront and honest with everybody about what you're raising the money for. So if you brought in $3,000 and you tell the community, we're going to give 1/3 to our general budget, 1/3 to Toys for Tots, and 1/3 to, a scholarship fund, then you need to make sure that 1/3, that $1,000 doesn't go into your system, into your bookkeeping, but goes into Toys for Tots. Now, in my case, when I go out and we do an event and we have our tent set up and we're recruiting and we're selling hats and pins and patches and so forth, we do let everybody know that the proceeds from what we're selling are going to be divided among these different charities that we support. But we also have 4 separate containers, well, 3 separate containers that we'll have out there. One is our Marines Helping Marines, one is a Toys for Tots, and one is for Young Marines. And we'll have some Young Marines out there helping, and they're doing their own collections, but it gives people the opportunity to choose where they want their dollars to go. Do they want them to go into a Marines Helping Marines fund, or do they want it to go to Toys for Tots? It gives them that opportunity to designate where they want it to go.
Did that clear that up a little bit, Skip?
Yep. Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you, Skip. Clark, you are up. There is nobody on deck at the moment. Go ahead, Clark.
Okay, we were running into the same problem at our attachment, and last year our coordinator told us if we end up with any cash, just convert it into gift cards and give it to the coordinator, and they go buy toys with that. So that way everybody gets the toys instead of and that worked beautiful for us. We didn't have any cash. We just would go to Walmart change it to a gift card, and we give it to the coordinator, the reserve unit, and they would just go get toys for the kids. So I mean that worked great for us last year. That way we didn't have to spend a lot of money. And they said
Don't tell me who that coordinator is. I don't want to know. But no, they
Federal Reserve Unit's what it was.
Okay, but with the reserve unit there, that is a very sticky wicket. The problem that we have, gift cards, number one, we never give gift cards to families, and so that's one issue. Then and that would be that. I mean, and they're told at the foundation level, all of the reserves, the I&I staff are all told at their level that they're not supposed to be doing anything with gift cards. And the reason being this, right here in Colorado Springs, where I'm at, we had folks that were taking toys in exchanging them at Walmart, you know, returning them and getting a gift card. And then there is a pawn shop here in town that got busted that was buying gift cards from people for 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
The other situation that we have is there's no accounting for where those gift cards went. So if someone says, I gave $50 to this, you know, to the Marine Corps League detachment for them to give to Toys for Tots at an event they did. And then they reach out to the coordinator and they ask the I&I staff member, did you receive $50 cash from XYZ Marine Corps League detachment? And that person says, no, I didn't. That coordinator that you gave the gift card to last year isn't the coordinator this year. There's so many different things. It's just, it becomes very problematic, or can become very problematic. And they know they're not supposed to do that with the gift cards.
You know, the reserve unit told us that they were having trouble getting toys for the kids, you know, the older kids. And so, you know, some of them wanted shoes, and some of them wanted different things. So they said, you know, just change the money to gift cards, and then, you know, we would do that ourselves, you know. And then the reserve unit would take it and buy whatever the kid wanted, because they pretty well knew what they wanted. You know, when the family comes up there, and they would go to Walmart and get shoes or whatever they wanted for the kids. And you know, it worked great for us. I mean,
I can see that it would work great, but the situation is that the I&I staff, they know specifically that they are not allowed to handle. They're not supposed to be spending gift cards locally. Now, if somebody drops a bunch of gift cards in one of their collection boxes, then yes, they're supposed to take those gift cards, go to whatever store it is, and use them, unless it's like a Starbucks card or things like that. And in a case like that, the foundation, in fact, gave instruction this past weekend that if you receive gift cards that were for different things other than where you could buy toys, that they could use those like gas cards or Starbucks cards or a card for pizza. You know, if they got a Pizza Hut gift card, they could use it to buy pizzas and feed their volunteers there at their warehouse. But the issue of giving gift cards to individuals, to, you know, even teenagers, that they know very specifically that they're not supposed to be doing that.
well, they didn't give to the teenagers, you know, like the reserve unit went and bought the stuff for them, is what it was. In other words, we would give the gift card to the reserve unit. You know, we would go in Walmart with the money, bring the good gift card out, and they would give it to the reserve unit, and they would go in and buy the toys that they wanted with the gift card. So the kids really didn't have to handle anything, you know, or the family, basically just the reserve unit. It worked real well for us, you know.
Correct.
Hey, Clark, it's Craig, and since you're in Maryland and I'm in Maryland, we can have a offline discussion on why that may not be the most appropriate thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, that what's called requested that for us, so we were going with what Frederick said, Frederick reserve unit. So, I mean, it worked well for us last year. So.
All right, well, good. You got Craig in your backyard, and then hopefully, you know, we'll take that offline and some answers and clarifications can be made. All right, thanks a lot, Clark. Craig, you had your hand up. Did you just want to speak on that, or did you have another comment?
No, yeah, I just wanted to talk to that issue.
Very good, very good. There are no other hand raised. You can't tell me everybody knows everything about everything there is to know about Toys for Tots. Come on in. Our experts are standing by. Dean, go ahead. I see your hand in the camera there.
Thank you, ma'am. That's one of the issues that I'd like to talk to all of Pennsylvania about. We have some guys that are doing some great work, but if we're not doing it in the right sequence, the foundation doesn't get the praise, which means we don't get the funds, and we can't go buy the toys that we need to buy. The monies have to be collected, they have to be licensed, and we can help people do this. That's what we're trying to do. Between Philly and Pittsburgh, there's all of PA left. We got to get out there and tell people what's good to do and what's not good to do, and explain the differences.
Very excited to hear you speak on that at the meeting. Go ahead, Craig.
Okay, so the one thing I wanted to talk about was dress blue uniforms and Toys for Tots. So it was brought up at the National Convention, and it was brought up again at the Toys for Tots conference just this past weekend. And we as Marine Corps League members are, yes, are authorized to wear dress blues as long as you conform with the Marine Corps order, which means height, weight, and grooming standards. You can wear dress blues while performing a Toys for Tots function. So whereas, I'm your national uniform, chairman, I would love you to wear your Marine Corps League uniforms because I think we got some pretty good uniforms. It is authorized to wear dress blues. So, if a Marine Corps unit can have a Marine out there in dress blues, we can have a veteran Marine as long as you are authorized to wear dress blues per that order, which is basically you have to have a minimum of a National Defense Medal in order to wear dress blues after you're off active duty. But when you read the order, it doesn't specifically state Toys for Tots, but there has been discussion and some approvals made that we as veterans are allowed to wear them because Toys for Tots is the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation. So that means it's an official function of the United States Marine Corps and the Marine Corps Reserve, and we are authorized to wear dress blues. I will be addressing that in one of my uniform articles that goes in the Semper Fi magazine for people that don't have social media. But I just wanted to bring that up, and I know Russ was, I think, working on a letter from the national staff to address that and put that out there. But as of this weekend, I was told directly to my face that we are authorized, to make, to wear dress blues, and that, again, you must conform to Marine Corps standards, which means no fat bodies, and, you got to shave, you have to get a good haircut, and you have to fit in your dress blues. Don't just go buy a set of dress blues that are, the size you are today and think that that's going to be good enough. You have to meet height and weight standards just like you were on active duty. So, if you don't, wear the Marine Corps League uniform. We have dress blue trousers, in our arsenal of Marine Corps League. As I tell people all the time, the public is ignorant of a lot of things. And when they see a Marine veteran or a Marine in the Marine Corps League uniform, they don't make the distinction between active duty and veteran Marine. They just see Marine. So therefore, let's use that to our advantage, and let's look professional when we're out there performing Toys for Tots functions. And that's it.
All right, thanks
And
a lot.
everybody,
Craig.
just
Go ahead.
Victoria, just for the record too, that authorization came directly from Lieutenant General David Bellin, who is the commanding general of Marine Forces Reserve, 4th Marine Division, and Marine Forces South. And that was from Commandant Berger through him that authorization is given. So I know there's a lot of consternation, about the Marine Corps order and so forth, but it was stressed multiple times. General Laster brought it up, and General Bellin both addressed the issue there in front of everybody at the convention, that veterans are authorized to wear their dress blues as long as, like Craig said, you meet the height to weight ratio standard, and you are meeting the grooming standard. So that, just for the record, if anybody ever asks you, Commandant of the Marine Corps and General David Bellin said it is okay that we have authorization for that.
All right, thank you, Russ. We do have a hand raised. Before I get to you, Collier, to touch on the uniforms, just keep in mind, because the Marine Corps League rates the blood stripe, if you did not rate the rank of corporal, if you're putting on your dress blues, you don't rate that blood stripe. Just a reiteration, you should know that. But if you're putting on your dress blues and you discharged as a lance corporal, please keep that in mind. Go ahead, Collier. You are muted right now, sir.
Okay, I just got one quick question in regards to Toys for Tots. Once we're done with Toys for Tots for the season, I know there's a report that has to be submitted. Now, we work with another detachment who's actually in charge of the Toys for Tots program in our area. Is there a report that we should also be sending, seeing that we're not the host unit?
So yes, the host unit, the coordinator, the LCO, local coordinating English is the second language, sorry. The local coordinating organization, they are responsible to fill out the after action report to the Marine Corps Toys for Tots Foundation. Those detachments that are not coordinators but are operating in support of another detachment, another organization. Some of them, in some areas, it's the Salvation Army is the Toys for Tots coordinator in certain areas. Or if you're helping a Marine Reserve unit, you would then fill out the after action report that is located inside the library on our National Marine Corps League website. It's a smaller form, but what you want to do is keep track of the events, the things that you're doing in support of that other Toys for Tots coordinator. It helps us to better understand, and the whole purpose is not so much, slapping ourselves on the back. The important thing that we want to do with these reports is to let the Commandant of the Marine Corps know and let General Berger know what the Marine Corps League is doing to support the mission. Because too often they see the one detachment that's the LCO, but they don't realize that there's other detachments in that area that are supporting the mission as well. So we want to let them know where it all breaks down and who all is responsible for helping in the whole scheme of things. So if you're an LCO, the after action report that's located in the Marine Corps League national website and library is not your report. You don't do that report. If you are not a coordinator, that is the report that you would then do. And those come to me. I also get all of the reports from Toys for Tots for everybody, for the entire nation. So I see the after action reports from the Marine Reserve units, everybody. So, but anything you can do to help us get more information into the hands of the Commandant of the Marine Corps so he knows what we're doing to support, it really helps.
Thank you.
Thank you, Collier. Great question. And again, since Collier is a Pennsylvania Marine, Dean will be touching upon that at the fall meeting as well. Dave in Pennsylvania. Oh my goodness, I love my Pennsylvania Marines. You are up, sir.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. Yes, ma'am, I wanted to follow up on that and also encourage both the LCOs and the non-LCOs to send those reports also to their departments so that we can track that as well and that we can recognize those detachments that are doing well with their LCOs or supporting the Marine Reserve units. So once those reports are completed, the after action report, send that to, depending on your department, whoever's responsible for the awards, and it should be part of the department SOP. And the department may also have its own form. But in Pennsylvania, I think we're probably going to transition to the one that's on the league library so that we can get everybody online with the same paperwork. Yep, absolutely. So again, check with your department as to who's supposed to get that and make sure they get the information when you're finished. And, you know, the sooner the better. By the 31st of January is a great time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, with no other hands being up, I once again ask, is there any other questions? Any other questions in regards to Toys for Tots? Okay, Bob Hauser is on deck, another Pennsylvania Marine. I'm loving life right now. Go ahead, Bob. You are on mute right now. Hold on, let's get you off mute first, sir. You don't know how to do it? Press the space bar. Where'd he go? Oh, we lost him. Okay, For those of you who have the chat open, Steve Topolnicki put in a nice little hyperlink for you to write down. Fred, you got your hand up. Well, actually, I think Bob is back. Say a couple of words, Bob.
I'm here.
There we go.
We are not going to be collecting toys in our detachment. I'm just going to run a fundraiser and have checks made payable to the Toys for Tots. Is there someplace on the national website that I should go to get registered to be official?
Well, let me start by saying, and I'll let Russ take it from here. You said that you were going to be writing checks. That's a no-no. We covered that in the very beginning.
I'm sorry,
No.
no, I'm not writing, I'm collecting checks.
Oh, okay. All right. So Russ, looking at, and let me paraphrase, you're looking at becoming an LCO?
I would imagine that's what I'm going to be.
Okay, go ahead, Russ.
So there is or there's not a coordinator in your area right now?
Not in Dauphin County that I know of. There probably will be, but I'm not aware of one.
Okay, because what there is on the website, there is a place on the National Toys for Tots website, toysfortots.org, and I'm going to make sure that I've got it here. Make sure I get the right, tell you the right scoop. I don't want to give any bum scoop here. Once you're on the Toys for Tots website, toysfortots.org, you want to click where it says About Toys for Tots. And then you would scroll down to the very bottom. There's a place called Coordinators Corner. And in that area, there is the application form to conduct a local Toys for Tots campaign. It is currently closed. They don't allow any new campaigns to start up after the program has already begun, this close to Christmas. But it opens up January, and it is open all the way through the month, 1st of May. You can actually get on there and apply to become a Toys for Tots coordinating organization in your area. And then the account specialist for your region of the country would then reach out to you and start working with you directly and getting you all set up, getting someone to the training where they can become officially trained as a Toys for Tots coordinator and have that purchasing card so that they can buy toys with it, the whole thing. But yes, if you're collecting funds, it's not really, because if it's not covered in your county, even if you're collecting funds for Toys for Tots, it's not really benefiting those kids in that county. I would also consider, even though the application is currently closed, I would encourage you to consider contacting the foundation directly, calling the Toys for Tots Foundation and letting them know that you would like to start a campaign in your area. And I'm sure they can direct and work with you and help get some things rolling in the meantime.
Thanks a lot. I
Thank
hope that cleared things up. Did that answer your question, Bob?
Yes, it did, in spades.
All right, very good. Again, we have a new Toys for Tots coordinator here in Pennsylvania, Dean Vanzanardi, so you can kind of take that conversation offline if you had wanted to. Before we get to Dean, who had his hand in the camera, we did have a question in the chat box. What do you do if your coordinator is non-responsive to your calls and or emails? Russ?
Well, the question I guess would be, is the coordinator part of the Marine Corps League, or are they outside the Marine Corps League? Is it a reserve unit, I&I staff? Because we got to remember that the I&I Marines are entirely overwhelmed with the amount of work they have to do. And usually that coordinator, well, 99.9% of the time, that coordinator did not volunteer for that position. They were voluntold. And they still have to carry out all of their other duties. But yeah, I guess that would be the question. Okay, so it's outside the MCL as another organization. That I would keep trying to reach out to them, let them know. I know that, like I said at the training conference, and it is now in the SOP. for the many years when I first became a Toys for Tots coordinator, there was no mention of Marine Corps League in the old SOP books. But over this last 2-3 years, the Marine Corps League has been being given a larger and larger footprint with Toys for Tots and allowing us more access to Toys for Tots and to the reserves. So it says you have a reserve unit. Okay, the reserve units there, that can be, like I say, that can be tough. I know in Aurora, Colorado, we've had a number of coordinators that did not want to play well with others, but they do have orders from General Bellin and from the Marine Corps to cooperate and work with the Marine Corps League, seek help from the Marine Corps League. And so I would just keep reaching out to them. If you want to reach to me offline, I can try to put you in contact with directly with their coordinator at that reserve center.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, we have one more question before we wind up the hour. Oh, actually, coming back to Dean, you were waving in the camera when Bob Hauser was speaking. Did you have something there?
What I was going to suggest was that's one of the reasons why we invented the state coordinator position. I got that idea from Craig a couple of years ago, hearing him give a speech. And I thought if we can get those and stop the little ones that we can fix going all the way up to Russ, he can handle the big stuff.
All right, very good. Just so you know, Bob Hauser is also District 6. So, hopefully you guys can connect very, very soon. David PA.
Number,
all right,
yeah,
outstanding.
Quick direct message to Bob Hauser. Please reach out to Echo Company 225 in Harrisburg. They are Dauphin County Toys for Tots. That's the place to go. And they need all the support that they can get because something else is happening there that I can't talk about right now. But Echo Company 225 in Harrisburg, that's Toys for Tots in Dauphin County.
Yes, sir.
Question asked and answered. I love it. All right, I was going to close it up, but we had a little last minute hand being raised there. Steve, you are up and you're going to close out the hour.
Hello. For anyone who doesn't know, see if I can get it. There's a whole big SOP manual on do's and don'ts for Toys for Tots. The link that I posted earlier for the Coordinators Corner, there's a PDF version of this that you can download and see all the rules and regulations that we must abide by as a coordinator. I just suggest everyone to take a moment, if you're not an LCL coordinator, just to download it and read it. Well, it's a lot of insight in here.
And congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Show that award again, Steve, while we're recording so that everyone can see.
Right here.
Outstanding job. Okay, for those of you, and I'll say it on the recorded session, for those of you that don't know, we do this once a month. Every 2 months, we do a more social gathering where it is not recorded and we can say and do what we want to. It is a chat just to have fun. And, I equate it to that which happens at, conferences and conventions, at breakfast and, in the hallways and such. So we look forward to that. I do not have a date for next month. We are working with Rust Insurance to get Rust Insurance as our guest speaker. For those of you that are not familiar with Rust Insurance, make yourselves familiar. Any gathering of, more than 2 or 3, 5 people, you want to make sure that that insurance is covered. So we are going to get that information out once I have confirmation of the date and time where I can get that liaison to a guest speaker to speak on this. So thank you so much for joining. Again, this will be converted in the next couple of days to a YouTube video. To find this YouTube video, you will go to youtube.com/The Marine Corps League. All the words to include the. All of the Commandants Corners are recorded and put up there. There's also a whole lot of great videos from convention, some one-on-one interviews. So we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep those Santa hats rolling and those jingles a-belling. So with that being said, Semper Fidelis. Good night, Chesty, wherever you are.